Good afternoon, traders. We are live from our trading room here. This is the New York session, the third or the fourth session for the day we're doing. These sessions are all live. We're going to trade the CAD news. We've already set up our charts for that. We're going live now because I wanted to show you some structural change. In my last webinar, I explained to you what we think could happen in most of the majors. So at least I'm going to do the majors and some of the cryptos and some of the trades we took this morning. So you're going to see. So if you were following me in dollar index thing, remember I said, if you get buy setups, take it because they're probably going to go a little higher. Well, we've just gone a little higher. And that means the probability for this to turn is getting higher and higher. So I would advise, if you were one of my followers, you're watching it, start looking for the sell setups. Look for that turning point. It could go a little more, but start looking for this turning point because this could happen this week, right? As soon as you see that turning setup, go for the trades. Silver might have turned already for the upside. Sorry, this is gold. Gold might have turned already for the upside because we broke out of this structure, but we can't confirm the turn. There are many reasons why. We're going to tell you later because there are a lot of deep pullback in that up move, which means that if it is going to drop, it is only going to drop one more retest this low and then up. So if you get sell setup, you can take the trade. But if you get any consolidation here, and right now it's consolidating, it's a buy setup, and we will be buying it. Silver already probably turned. So this was a buy this morning from silver. If you were live in the trade with me the last time, remember we were showing you inside here where we sold, and we changed that sell to a buy, right? In my last webinar. We closed it. We took a very small loss and we changed it to buy, and the buy turned out to be very well. It actually went here, pulled back, and kept going. This was another buy, and it's going. So any flag you get now, you keep buying. I think this might have turned already. It's pretty sharp. I'm expecting it to come back at least to this stop. There's a good chance we will retest the low before it goes because this seems to be making a flat like that. It might be more complex than that. Can this one actually take off and go? It can, but I'm not looking at it that way. There are many reasons. This piece cannot be all the correction in that whole thing. But first, get the trade at least to the top. We'll talk about the rest next week. If you can get this trade here, now at some point, this will start to correct. So if you're going to buy the top there, you have to be really careful. At some point, this will start to correct. It will make a correction to continue to go. Not as big as I draw it, maybe something like this. Right, some correction like that, maybe a smaller version of correction like this probably. There was a running flat here. So something like that will form here before it goes. So expect that correction. You can still take any flag you get on the 60 minutes, any flag you get, but assume that it could come back. Put it, at least get it to break even. Like if you're in this trade, get it to break even and start taking profit the minute you see it's changing for a deeper correction. Euro dropped, we sold it. So euro sell, this one moved. I think this was the euro sell to drop. And this morning, there was a euro sell. We didn't sell the euro. We sell the euro pairs because this drop was going to be short. Some traders did take it. We decided if you want to take it, but it's short. So we're pretty much at a point where we think it can turn. Right? If you remember from my last webinar, watch it. It can go a little lower. And we do have a lot of divergence. So divergence is just informative that momentum is dying out. Be careful, it can turn. And it's pretty accurate. Most times when you get this, you do get either a deep pullback or a reversal, depending on what the pattern is showing. In this case, the pattern is showing an up move, a very sharp reversal of this to the upside. That's a continuation move, basically. This is a correction. So start looking for those turning points. I just wanted to do this update to inform you of that. Look for the turning points. Pong. We sold the Pong this morning. Right, we sold the Pong here. Some traders took the sell. Some traders took the sell on the other Pong pairs. We were trading the other Pong pairs. We were trading the Pong news, and it is coming to break this low. Now, this structure seems complex. I'm going to take off this because that was the buy there. It seems we're in this complex pattern here. So when it breaks this low here, oops, sorry, let me just get that out of the way. When it breaks this low, there's a very good chance we are going to turn from here and go right back to the top. Right. I don't think it's going to be a sharp move. It might be more something like this, because this seems to be a 1, 2, 3 for a flat. So it could come a little more here, go back up there, probably is a 1, 2, 3, is a 1, 2, 3. Retest the low and then turn. So there's a good chance for that. But any buy setup you start to get from here, take the trade to the upside. And at some point, you're going to start to get a buy setup here because we're breaking the lows already, which means the buy setup is going to come. Look for that buy. Right? Now, If you're lucky, that is the buy that actually goes up. But I think no, most likely that buy would not be the one that goes. It's probably going to come back here. Maybe it's a 1, 2, 3. Come back, retest the low, give us divergence here, huge divergence, and then turn to the upside. If I'm looking at what this would look like, it would look like this. See this huge flat that formed there? Huge correction there. And then it broke the low and then turned to the upside. That shows you the divergence here. If you go and look into that, you'll see divergence there. Now, we might get that here. So keep an eye on that. That's a good trade to the upside. Aussie, same situation. We're at the bottom here. Aussie is consolidating, and I think it will drop one more. I do believe this is going to drop one more. I think when that drops, we're going to get divergence here, and we will start to expect an up move here. The pattern in Aussie is much more complex, so we're not going to do that. We wouldn't have time enough to go through the pattern here. It'd be too long. But on the lower time frame, this is what it did. So if you were watching my previous webinar, I showed you some of these, how we think it could develop. We thought it would come here, go back to the top, drop, break the low, and then go. That was it, right? It did go up. It went higher than we expected. This came down. It didn't drop to the bottom, but it started to make a flat. So this morning, we recognized that that is a flat. 1, 2, 3. This was a sell. It's at the bottom. Now it's time to take profit off that sell or move your stop in the break even, because there's a very good chance it's going to go back up. Then come here and go there, because this would all be the P part, right? And this would be 1, 2, 3. Come back here and then go. So we can look for a short-term buy setup here. Very soon, a short-term buy setup. Hopefully, we get the sell and we get the buy again, and then we look for the drop and then the upside. So that consolidation is still ongoing. I'll take this one off. This is not very relevant. I think this one is the most relevant though. New Zealand, I think New Zealand worked like magic, right? It did give us the up move as we expected, but that up move was not what we thought it would be. We had it like this, for this to be a running flat. 1, 2, 3, running flat, come back to the low and then go. Well, that didn't prove to be what we think it is. It could still be a running flat, but because of this deep pullback, because of that very deep pullback, I thought they'll probably make a flat here. So this was a sell this morning. Some traders might have taken, and you might have closed it already. I took it, I closed it already because it's not really going very fast, and that's not a big trade that I expected. What I do expect is that this could start to go up. And if we get a buy setup here today, we will take the trade today, most likely not tomorrow. And then we decide if you get a flat here, then it's not a running flat. So we go back to the contracting flat we originally had. All contracting flats can become running flats in the future, so you always have to prepare for that. Turn out it's a contracting flat. This is the low there. If we get a flat here and it turns to give us any buy setup, we will be going for this trade. Totally to the upside. Not just one small trade, but maybe way to the top. Let's go to the 4 hours and way back to the top of this structure. See, we're in this structure here. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this update, so you guys can see. If this trade starts to happen, you better go for it. We're probably coming here and we could even break out. Right? With it, this pattern could be over at the bottom there. It's a complex pattern. I'm not going to go into details here because that will just create more confusion for those traders who are not wave analysis traders. But from this point, like every time you broke the low, and I told you that in the last webinar, every time you break the low, you start to look for that turning point to go back there. Don't miss it. Right? These are good trades. By the way, if you would like to join us live in those trades, let me plug the ad in there. If you'd like to join us to do this live with us, like in sessions like these, where we actually made those calls and follow up to them, send me a Skype message. The Skype is in the description, and I'll give you the details how you can join our live sessions. CAD, it's at the top, and we're actually trading the CAD news. I do think CAD is going to go up some more, but we don't have a good buy setup right now in the news, so we're putting in the news. It's called a counter trade. We're putting it for a possible drop. I think it can come down, or it's going to work its way up slowly back to the top and drop. I don't see a big move coming right now, but just in case that big move comes, we do have some CAD buy. We have Aussie CAD buy, we have Pound CAD buy, Euro CAD buy. So we do have some trades. Should the news go up, we will get the buys of those trades. If you follow me for a while and you've seen how how we do the live sessions, you know there's a lot of consolidation here and a lot of divergence. So this up move, I wouldn't be surprised if it drops. Even if it drops as a single drop like this, and then go back up. If they do this and then go back up, that would be perfect. Right? So I don't see any reason why this can't happen, and then the upside continue. Because we're going up. So let's see. It could also go back and retest the low. Basically, in that big structure, there's a chance it could go back and retest the low. Swiss. Okay, I have a very strong feeling and I'm very confident that Swiss is going to drop. It's not going to break out of this structure because this move going up is really, really slow with a lot of divergence here. There's no sign this is looking impulsive. It could happen, but nothing in that is telling us that it's going to happen. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen without me. It's going to break the top and go through, and then we'll wait for it. But we're buying it right now. We're only buying it to come back, as this morning, if you bought that, you're only buying it to come here. And then from there, we'll be looking for a sell setup. Now, I mean by there, I mean breaking the stop. So some traders probably were in that trade, and I said were because you're not supposed to be in it anymore. You're supposed to close that trade and you're supposed to put an entry above the top, just in case any of my traders are following it. With the structural way it's looking, you would go to the 15 and you would decide that that's a bad idea to keep the trade, right? Just close it, put an entry above the top. You can see that little running flat form in there, put it above the top, put it a couple pips above the top. If it keeps doing that, tagging you, making a flag, tagging you, making a flag, well, then you get out of it and start looking for a sell setup, basically. Yen. Okay. So yen is going to make a huge flat here. We already agreed on that this here would probably come here, more like this, go back up there. There's a good chance we'll come back here, make a new high. And then we'll look for any downside that is coming because the 4 hour, we think this is a running flat. I have a very strong feeling that this here is the running flat within a bigger structure, right? Should it continue to go, well, we'll see. Remember, I just said we were buying it, right? We're looking for a buy setup inside of this to go to the top there, to come back here, and then we'll be looking for a bigger buy to go higher. Now, how high, that's an unknown factor. It doesn't have to break this top. It just needs to break this top after that, and then it could drop. Or it could even go much higher all the way to that top and then come back. But there's a very, very strong probability of this happening because I don't think this has anything to do with the weekly running flat. I think we're making a big flat here by itself. So let's see. Keep that in mind. Look for a buy setup short term and then look for a buy setup medium term. Let's see if we get that trade. Okay, guys, I wanted to update that for you. I can show you some cryptos. I can show you some of the trades also we took this morning, just in case you wonder what the hell we do in this trading room. Tongwalls was a sell. Tongcad was a sell. See those lines? Those are sell setup. I think we sold. We were trying to buy the Pong Swiss as a counter trade. Pong New Zealand, some traders sell. This could have been both ways. Some traders took the sell, not the buy. You could have put it both ways. Took the sell. Let me see. There's a number of other charts which we traded. I'm not going to go through all of them. Let's do some of these indices for those traders. This one, wait for it to come back. If you're tagged in this, that's how many hours? Not a lot of hours, but you can still keep a stop higher because it looks like we're going to go back, tag this stop. Look like a flat in here. So if you sold that and didn't drop, expect it to come back here, make a flat, and still a sell setup. So if you got tagged in that and it doesn't go right now, when you pull back, close it. US oil, good sell. You can stay with it. So the natural gas, you're going to close for a very small loss. Once it pulls back here, you try to get out of it. US oil is going good, so you can keep that for a longer run. I think we're going to go much more. What else we had? S&P 500. Still a buy setup. Wait for the setup. This one is probably going to make a flat or something. Seems like we're going to get a flat here, and then we can look for the buy setup. I still think it's going to be a buy setup. This one, this could be a sell, but because we're doing this and we need to come back to that top, probably wait until it gets back there and then go for the sell. Once it gets back to the top, we can go for the sell. Nasdaq, buy setup. I think this is the clearest buy setup we have. This is about the easiest. Simple, and you know what it means. Strong impulse, nice flat, go for the buy. Structurally, in the higher time frame, this is a good setup also. See? Structurally, this is coming down really slow. So unless this comes back all the way to the bottom like that, it's a good buy. So what could happen to change this? Well, this thing here works its way down to the bottom, like it comes here and pull back and come here and do this. Then we will buy this to go back to the top there, and we'll be selling like crazy. Should that happen? But as of now, if it's here, you're trading it to this top and you're trading it to break that top. Let's see how it plays out. Right now, it's a buy setup. Let it come down a little more, tag this low, and then put an entry order to buy just above this top. If you can get it from the bottom on the 15, that would be even much better, right? If you can get it from here going up, that would be amazing. Okay, we'll go to gold just now, Carlos. I'm glad you made that one. That was great. By the way, the gold walker, it worked like magic yesterday. So that was a good one, yes. So this you can put for a sell setup. Just watch it in case that becomes a flat, right? That's a thing, right? It could be a running flat. Don't let it tag. You shouldn't be a running flat. But I think this one was a running flat. We were looking at this as the running flat, and this should drop. So keep this trade. This might drop. Good. Let's do Bitcoin. I'll only do three. I'll do Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, and we'll go. This would probably go up a little more. Remember, I was telling you this one is going to drop a little here, come to there, and then go back there. Well, it's going to come to this top, make a flat, and then drop. You have a trade to the top there and then drop. Probably wait for the sell if you want. Ethereum, same thing. I'm going to put it in the 1 hour, so it's going to be easier for you. So if this one didn't come down very much to the bottom. See, this one didn't come to the bottom all the way. So if you get a flag here, take this flag to break this top. And if you're lucky, it goes much higher. It could go much higher in the bigger picture. On the 4 hour, there's a good chance it could actually go all the way back to this top. This one could end up not just breaking this top and going back down, but actually coming all the way here and then come back. We're in this pattern here, so I wouldn't be surprised if they get there. Probably, I don't think they're going to break out of the top. It could be like this might become a flat 1, 2, 3, come back to the bottom here, and then go. So we're just going sideways here. This trade should be a good one back to the top there, back to about 200, 2000. Yeah. From 644 somewhere, 656 somewhere. Wait for a flag here, take this trade back to the top. That's a good one. XRP. Okay, this is making a flat. It's probably going to consolidate in this range. We can see this flat here. It might consolidate here in this range. And if you get this, go for the buy. If it makes a consolidation there, go for the buy. Finally, gold, yesterday's trade. I think the arrow worked perfect yesterday. I think the trade you're talking about yesterday in the gold was this sell at the bottom here in the 50. Was this sell, right? Sell to come back. This arrow that was the size of this, that worked perfect. Now you're looking for a buy. You're actually buying. Gold should be a buy here. That should be a buy. It could have started that up. This is a deep pullback, but I showed 3 places in gold this morning where it actually made those deep pullback, but continued to go. So this is a buy with a lot of caution. I buy it with a lot of caution because we were expecting it to go up. Should it take a long time, you'll get out of it and see. But that's a nice flag for upside. And I think it's either a deeper correction to the upside or a total upside for that, meaning retesting these stops, this stop. It's in a sideways movement in the 4 hours. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get back to that top. So the buy is a good idea. So guys, for those of you in the group, I hope you enjoy this. I hope you like it. It was very short. If you want the full list of everything we do, again, just send me a Skype message and you're going to get the details. It will cost you nothing. It will cost you a cup of coffee a day. And if you actually do continue to join the group, you will get all those coffee for free. So literally all you will pay is a cup of coffee a day. And if you do join the group, all of that will be free and you'll be getting free coffee for the rest of your life, which means you will have everything free for the rest of the life, like 5 cups of coffee a day. So make your choice. Somebody sent me a question and I think it was, we have to go to CAD, by the way, guys. I'll have to cut. Somebody asked me on Skype, what's the price for coffee? Since I'm saying it will cost a cup of coffee. Thanks, guys. I'll see all of you. Take care. Bye. Trade with care.